It's not about spaceships.
Hey everyone, I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and today we got Star Wars news. We got Allison McClone, we got Rob at Sketchcraft, we got Jesse the Thrawn Kill, we got the cemetery from Poltergeist, we got some toys, we got some artwork, we got a poster I got back from my ex, we got a picture of Frankenstein, and we got a helmet. And then there's also Star Wars news. And we got Star Wars Santa
later.
Hi, Star Wars Santa. Santa's been on vacation, doing vacation stuff. I saw today. If you're a member on his channel, he might do a members only stream later on. So get on his Discord and check that out if you are so inclined. But yeah, the big news of the day was around IG-11 and old man IG-11. He's a couple, a good 60, 70 points lower than IG-88 because he was made later, I guess, or before. I don't know. I don't know
class.
Why.
Derp class droid.
He's a bit derpy. He wants to be a daddy. He wants to have a baby Yoda in his life. And that was one of the best arcs of the first season of Mandalorian, I'd say, or the heart of the new character arcs, if you will, in the sense that there was all new characters. What am I even talking about? Side characters, like it wasn't like Grief Karga. You were like, oh, Grief Karga, or Cara Dune, like your plight, But IG-11, you're like, oh, it's kind of like a fucked up version of ET in a weird way. The
Mac and me.
Mac and me. Well, Baby Yoda could walk. Baby Yoda could walk.
Better version of Mac and me.
Yeah, I would be cool if they went to a McDonald's and did that dance number though, because that totally happens. If you guys have never seen Mac and me, when you were really, really like when you have like a really important friend or family member, or you're on a date, stop the date and go get Mac and me and watch it with them. And if they stay with you, then it's meant to be. Like if
they leave you, you need better taste in movies.
Well, I mean, it's just I call it speed dating, but anyways, yeah. So I don't know if I have my images straight. Of course, I don't, because they got all messed up today. But hold on, I'm going to open up the right image. All right, here it is, and then I'm going to throw it up on the screen. Here we go. Show on stream. All right, look at us. We're like a fucked up Brady Bunch in the cemetery from Poltergeist. So giant freaking robot. So they go on in this article and they say, our trusted and proven inside sources, we've exclusively learned that Taika Waititi will be playing IG-11 in The Mandalorian season 3. And so I'm kind of
flashback stuff possible.
I mean, I guess you could do a flashback, but I mean, I feel like in a weird way, because like my ET analogy, like it's ET and it's Terminator 2, right? It's a bit ET and a bit Terminator 2, and bringing both of those back into the kid's life is not a good idea, in my opinion. Like the whole thing is that he sacrifices himself to save the kid because he's sort of been given this empathy from that little Ugnaught dude from, you know what I mean? And then kind of I don't know. Let's look at this report from two different ways. It's true or it's not. So let's look at it from the side of it's true or it's accurate. And I don't mean to say it's not. I hate to use true. I think accurate is better, because I don't think people necessarily lie on purpose all the time. And so try to give them benefit of the doubt. So if it's accurate, then does it rob season 1 of its point?
In a way, it would.
You think so, Joe? Allison?
Sorry. There was a massive nor'easter that hit here the other day, and there's a little bit of cleanup that was happening.
Whoa.
Truck just took some stuff out.
Yeah, we had cars floating down the street the other day when it was raining.
Really?
Yeah, it rained for like a day and a half straight here.
Yeah, it was bad. It was very, very bad.
Super flooded.
Most of my friends still have no power.
Oh shit.
I live next to a hospital. I don't lose anything.
Yeah. You should break in there and make some of that human soap, like in Fight
Hello,
Club.
Meg.
Yeah, but what? How about you, Rob? What do you think? Is it good idea, bad idea?
I'm just gonna be called a IG hater
Oh
if I
yeah,
don't. Right? If I don't, like, I think. Look, it's probably like IG-12. You know, it's like his slightly his the one who got
IG-11 and a half.
sentience and sees him as a brother, and the other one didn't. Right? Kind of like Spock. Spock had like that religious brother in Star Trek 5.
yeah.
I bringing back the same. One second. Sorry, bringing back the same droid.
Rob, you do it in the mic for these people, so these people know what you give them, how you suffer for them.
It's a fetish for some, so I can't encourage that. Like, you know,
What does a god need with a starship?
yeah. What does a god need with the starship? So I think like it's a voice. So like D. Bradley Baker can do a million clones. I think Taika can do all the IGs moving forward, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with IG-11 being dead. I mean, I guess you could have backed him up somehow, but didn't he like blow himself into itty bitty pieces? So
yeah. I mean, maybe he spent the $10 and has the Apple iCloud and like was just uploaded right before. but if that is the case, when we go back and we watch season 1 and he dies, you're gonna be like, oh well, so what?
Well, we've never heard IG-88 really speak, right? In the original stuff.
no, IG-88 did a great job of standing there.
So technically, yeah, like Taika could be the voice, the program voice for him.
True. Yeah, it could
all
be
of them.
IG-88.
Yeah, and then you saw the body in Cloud City. So
You know?
Right. Yeah. You see that one in the Ugnaught junk pile.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. My whole thing with that character has been kind of with IG-88 and IG-11 is I mean at the brass tacks of it, like it's if one's one or the other, it's sort of like a who gives a shit because they're like the same thing. But at the same time, like having a season of The Mandalorian with IG-11 in surprisingly makes me forget about IG-88 a lot. I mean,
Well, I
IG-88,
think
it's just some number differences in the end, but IG-11 is like my dominant idea of that thing now.
I think that the numbers signify their character type in terms of the era. So I find IG-11's very chivalrous, like the people were in 1911. But IG-88 would be like an 80s douchebag coke fiend. You know what I mean? Like he'd be like a Wolf of Wall Streeter.
It's the same. It's the same. That's the thing is he's like try this cocaine cough syrup, try some Coca-Cola with cocaine in it, and
But he's
like,
very nice about it. So if we got IG-77, he'd be like the Starsky and Hutch of IG droids. Right?
IG-88's like, hey, let's snort this coke off this Wookiee's furry butt.
He's drinking new Coke
right?
and clear Pepsi, Crystal Pepsi.
Crystal Pepsi.
That's IG-92. Right.
I lived next door to Joseph Ng as a kid, and his dad worked for Pepsi, and he brought Crystal Pepsi home like a big I don't know 6 months or so before it came out, and we were fucking blown away. I was like, you guys will not believe it. There's Crystal Pepsi and it's wild, and I'm talking about it all the time.
Bro.
It comes out. Boy, was I wrong about that. Boy, did I back the wrong pony on that one.
Was my favorite drink in my freshman year in high school. It's the one I got every day. It's the only one. I like it.
IG-69.
Yeah,
Well-
IG-69 likes feet. You know what I mean? Like the summer of IG-69. It's really into feet.
69 is not rated for Disney Plus.
Right. Yeah. They keep him to the books. Yeah. To the sexy Star Wars books.
He's like Uncle Joey in Back to the Future.
Uncle Jailbird Joey. Yeah.
Get paroled
referred to.
So, and once again, I don't like to crap on people's scoops or anything like that. but I queued up this story,
But
and when I did, I got messages from some people going, "News to me." Now, news to me could literally just mean news to me. Like, I'm working on the show. I didn't know he was coming back. That's cool. Or it could mean this ain't even close to happening. So, but once again, it could also be that Taika could just be back doing voice work, and they assumed IG-11's coming back. Because he could be doing a new character. He could even be directing an episode for all we know.
well, Christy Wilson Karras. She wrote Last Night in Soho, right? She's the one working with Taika on that movie.
Oh wait, is it Cairns?
Christy. I thought it was Christy.
Yeah, no, I thought I should look up her name. I have a hard time with her name for some reason.
So I mean, like, they are still in pre-pro on that other thing. I mean, not that he can't act or nothing, but
yeah,
I'd be shocked if right now, while he was wrapping up Thor and then prepping another one, that he went in to do a regular role. Unless it's just he can sit in a closet and just record shit, I suppose, right? Like, it's a fucking droid. So
when they were doing IG-11 for season 1, they had a guy with like a tube on his back with a little thing and this "I am this tall" kind of things, and so it's completely. And what was also kind of interesting about some of that stuff too is Mando's CGI at times, and people don't really realize that either. That's how kind of good it is.
With the armor, it's easier to pull it off.
Yeah, like one of the shots where he goes out and like pulls out has the 2 guns and the stormtroopers like the next to last episode, I want to say. Watch them like filming that, and the guy was just had all the tracking suit stuff on for it. And anyways, so but IG-11 had a kind of a similar thing going on in those ones too, and it wasn't Taika that was like walking around doing the role like in live action, to be filled in. He was directing it for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just the numerical number, like killing a character and then bringing them back. It's like, I get it in comic books, but I like to think in Star Wars, when they're dead, unless they're a little residual blue ghost, they're dead.
There's no Lazarus pit in Star Wars.
Like recording anywhere. I mean, if you think about it, Sean Connery recorded the opening of Highlander in a bathroom,
right?
In Spain, because that's where Spaniards would.
Come on, McLeod.
What's the? You guys remember?
He's Spaniard.
What the little Ugnaughts name was?
What was that? Rob was talking about Spain. I didn't know.
That sounds on topic. No, I'm kidding. What was the Ugnaughts name in Mandalorian season 1? It's like with a K. It's like Kraut. Kraut. No, I'm kidding. Okay, no, Quill. That guy. They I'm just joking. They recorded that in a closet as well.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it was like a super secret kind of thing, and they made he was doing another production, so they turned a closet into a recording studio, padded it out, put him inside the closet. He was in there sweating his balls off. Recorded the all of his lines in like a few hours, and it was in and out. And then they were able to take that, and Stan Winston's people made the mask, and then they were able to like pretty much program it to what he was saying, and got a really, really, really good performance out of it. And that's where I'm like really excited for characters like Zeb or Aurelios when they should show up in Ahsoka. I think it's going to look cool. I think it's going to look on.
They never left Nick Nolte out of the closet. He's
still in there.
Well, the padding was for Nick Nolte. Like, it wasn't really for the sound.
Open the door.
Yeah. Nick Nolte was stuffed in a closet. He was. I record a lot of my music the same way because I don't have a recording studio. So it's like I have like a bunch of put foam in my closet, move some jackets over and do it in there, and that's how you get the best stuff.
Yeah, that's how Red vs. Blue used to record their show. They just went to the closet and started recording the voices and everything.
Yeah, it totally works, and it's only amazing that it's like a Star Wars production that's doing it. But when you look at the practicality of getting Nick Nolte from where he was making a movie to a recording studio, it wasn't practical. So that was the actual solution. So
Deck out a closet, shove him in it, record the lines. He doesn't get out till he gets it right.
yeah, pretty much. But
Who else is in the closet in Star Wars? Dear God.
I'm gonna say
Sorry.
probably Chewbacca, because I mean he has a family, but he wants to hang out with Harrison Ford all day. That's cool though. I get
It's
it.
a bro love thing, yeah.
So if they do a Zeb, I'm assuming it will be mostly CGI with him. Or some CGI. I mean, he could do kind of a suit.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that they do the same kind of thing that they did with Quill, and make one of those really, really like insane motion controlled masks and all that kind of stuff, and like that it's amazing. That said, CGI would be the easier solution.
I'd rather
maybe even cheaper.
It'd have to be a tall outfit too, right? Because he's pretty tall.
He's pretty tall, yeah. And
or they just hire Michael Keaton and get a normal sized person to stand next to him. So just it's forced whatever that thing is.
Forced perspective.
What they do for Dennis Lawson when they make the X-Wings look really big.
There it is. I knew that.
What?
But my whole thing is if they do it, I could, in my mind's eye, I could see Zeb looking amazing like that. On the flip side, I could see it as looking like Ninja Turtles, but not in a good way, not in the Star Wars correct way.
After Maz's castle, I mean, they gotta at least try to make it for real instead of CGI.
I generally like a combination of both when you're doing effects, because you can add CGI to a practical effect and it can look really good. So,
well, as long as it's not Sean Gunn holding a stick with a CGI head.
Yeah, they tried to do Jar Jar that way originally. They were thinking that they could save money by putting Bess in the suit and then finishing the head with CGI, and it was actually more expensive than just to do the whole thing. Star Wars Santa says, I have a theory that Serkis could be playing Zeb, doing the motion capture and voicing. Thought? I mean, seems pretty...
What if it's David Spade though? Like, you guys are thinking too logically. Like they never. Sometimes what makes the writers and the creatives laugh in the room is what gets done, not what would be the coolest thing ever. Like,
that
would be David Spade.
It's Rob Schneider.
David Spade and Dana Carvey.
Steve Blum, I think is his name, who did Zeb in the original series. I mean, he does in terms of the voice and the gruffness of it and stuff like that. I don't really know if you get anything better out of turning it into somebody else personally on that one. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, his character is it's pretty basic in a good way. Mm-hmm. And I don't see it really like growing from using Andy Serkis in that one. And now if they were to use Andy Serkis, I mean, in anything, it's not going to be bad, obviously. But yeah, that's a strange one. But Serkis is in the Cassian one. I don't know if he's doing Ahsoka. So
I want to see him play Delicious Crumb. Because I think that's our Gollum series right there, man. Like, what happens right after Jabba, how he survives in the desert, not becoming like a barbecue treat.
And I want like the second Mac and Me reference of the show is remember when Mac and his family, that is, are walking around like on their planet, and it's like people in suits and it looks super fucking weird. Like what am I watching right now?
They drink soda from the ground.
Yeah.
I don't know why I remember that.
Yeah, it does.
I have to go like,
I don't know why you remember that either.
Yeah. But anyway,
I don't know math.
I want them to make that. I want them to make like really big Salacious B. Crumb costumes and have them walk around on like a desert and do like
I've never thought about that.
Forced perspective thing, and you're just like, it's like him like out there like in the wilderness, and like he finds like the rest of his kind.
He comes across Babu Frick,
and he's like, I've been out here I have been Jabba's pet for 20 years.
It's just like they walk like normal humans, but they're really big, delicious crumbs, right? And they got the little kid one is the goofy puppet. It wouldn't look too far off when Serkis was wearing that white suit on Lord of the Rings. It was all just filthy and disgusting. Like it just looks kind of like that, but with a mask. Yeah.
So, David asked, could Lucasfilm be utilizing Andy Serkis's Imaginarium? I would not be surprised if they weren't, or if they were, I should say. And like the amount, like it's kind of weird because obviously like people do compete, but everything is such contract work based and stuff. Like all of the work that was going on like during like the Avatar era, all of that stuff was being shared with everyone. And even when they were filming, I guess Disney did buy it, but at the time when they started, I don't think that was the case. There was a lot of intermingling between the tech being used on Avatar 2 and the Mandalorian's previous seasons. Like they were constantly sharing and talking. Maybe they knew that the buyout was going to come and it was completely cool to share those secrets with each other. I don't know. I'm only guessing, but they do end up using each other. Like Indiana Jones used Weta for all of the practical effects. All of the props were made for Indiana Jones 4 by Weta, all the swords and all that stuff. So it's like they just buy out each other and pay each other off to use each other's stuff. So I would have a hard time imagining that Andy Serkis does not have something going on with Disney, and that could come into play and feature things, or even in Andor itself, for all we know.
And Andy Serkis's Imaginarium, if you didn't know what you were talking about, sounds like a Key and Peele sketch.
Yeah.
like
Is it that a Natalie Portman movie that didn't do too well?
First off, his last name is Serkis. I know it's spelled Serkis, but he should be wearing a top hat. He just has like mimes everywhere. So yeah.
When I wrote the article, my subheading was "The circus is back in town," because I have no pride. I have no shame.
Jason's like, I'm gonna get hate mail for this, and I love it.
Once you realize PR is just looking for engagement, it doesn't really matter what you type. They don't actually check the site out, So,
and Andy Serkis is playing a giant Snoke. Snoke is back. Snoke is big. Snoke returns.
Is new Snoke like classic Snoke? Or is it
Snoke classic? Snoke-a-Cola?
It's Snoke's race. They instead of Coke, it's Coke in the ground. They snort it with long straws. So, those big pixie dust straws you used to get at like Seaport Village, like not very
why do
fun.
you think his jaw's falling off? It's all fucking Coke.
Only Rick McCollum knows for sure. Like
he likes to take it under the gum. You know what I mean? That's where he takes it like it's chew.
3 out of 4 Wammels prefer Snoke-a-Cola.
I like you just randomly dropping Wammels. I like it.
I like that Jesse never let Wammels go.
I got a cry cut machine and a new computer out there that we're trying to figure out. I'm making shirts.
Sorry to cut you off, or your picture anyway. Talking Sith podcast says maybe IG was part of the droid syndicate and was willing to self-destruct because he was backed up to a certain point and he could return and he'll turn IG-11. Yeah. Well, there is the droid Gotra, I believe, which is like this idea, if I have it correct, that battle droids were kind of some of the sentient ones end up forming a gang after the prequel era and start to become sentient and no one's controlling them. Then they eventually become a criminal enterprise onto itself, and that's where IG-88 is from. But if you have, I think what Rob was saying, I hope I'm not putting words in your mouth, but I think what you were saying is when you have IG and then any number afterwards, you don't need to bring one that you kill back, because IG-15 could just come in. It's like, why would you bring back IG-11 when he's dead and now you have to make IG-12?
IG-32, talk like this, eh? Yeah, I'm IG-32.
Right. Yeah.
And IG-84 is like, whoa, dude, chill. You know.
Rad.
Give me the Frank Sinatra one.
Ain't that a kick in the bot? Right? Like shit like that. Like, I don't know. Like, it would be funny if they grow like batteries. Like there's like a little, like batteries not included, or like the little IGs.
Yeah.
You can see them putting themselves together.
His spawn.
Man,
There's something there.
I watched Batteries Not Included over the pandemic. What a weird movie.
Weird.
Yeah.
I could never get into it. I've watched it, but I just thought it was boring as hell.
It's like Dune with robots in the Bronx. Right? Like they have to really inject this like deep rooted family thing, and you're like, I just came for the robots. Like, what is this shit? Like,
all right, because you're
it takes
making us
3
do
hours
it.
to get there. Then it cuts off. What?
I'm gonna do a Dune roll call. I haven't finished Dune. I don't
Care
know
Bear
why.
stare.
Allison, did you watch Dune?
Yeah, I did.
Was it good?
I liked it.
Allison liked Dune. And then Jesse, you thought Dune was complete shit, and you wanted your money back from HBO Max. You said,
Yeah, and then I saw it again, and I
loved it?
doubled down, and I said, I'm gonna come down and get my money from you.
No, you loved it, right? You were saying that
I
you
thought
were
it was
into
very good. That it was living up to what the hype from that director was supposed to be, and he captured a lot of the stuff that the original one didn't really seem to hold on to.
Yeah.
And so by the time that it ended, I'm like, wait, we're not even, we're like barely halfway through.
No, we're about a quarter of the way through.
Yeah, something like
Wow,
that.
it's amazing.
And need more. And I'm like, okay, like, all right, I hope we can get more. And I was just kind of like let down that at first there was no talk of a sequel. And I was like, well, I don't see
when they
why
pitched Dune, it was pitched as part 1.
Well,
Right.
it even says chapter 1 when you watch it. So I'm like, okay.
Exactly.
And I never saw chapter 2 font pop up there. So I was like, okay, well, maybe we are going to split it up. So I thought it was really good. I loved the way that he presented the sand and the planet. Just made it again like its own thing. Yeah, it's sand, but he made it like a character. He made it a character in the movie.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the sand is the character.
And the worm stuff was okay. There's a few things that I think they probably could have explained a little bit better. Gave some exposition on how they travel through space. But I'm glad they didn't go with the floating baby Cronenberg thing going up.
The navigator. I was surprised they didn't show a navigator. I was actually kind of surprised about that at all.
And they talk about it in the beginning, and then I'm like, okay, well, we're not going to see a navigator at all because they say it's the most important thing in the galaxy.
David would know.
Maybe in the second one.
Well, I don't know where. I mean,
Yeah.
I've read the book, and I've read the book a few times. I don't really remember a scene where you could put a navigator in later on because it's pretty much all on Arrakis at that point.
Yeah.
And for as much as we see Zendaya's character in his dreams and visions and stuff like that, we don't really get much of her in the movie.
That's cool. All right. I like when Princess Leia showed up at the very end of Star Wars, and then 3 years later we got to know who she was.
Hey, somebody's going, you mean like Luke Skywalker in The Force Awakens, you shill? No. Yeah.
That was the best part of the movie, right?
It's impossible.
I'm when I don't have little children running up and down my face and my house and all over me and hitting me in the face and stuff, I'm gonna try to watch it again this week. I'm gonna give it a second chance. I mean, like I said, it just wasn't connecting with it. I wonder if my face is still pixelated. I hope it is, because that's kind of cool. Like Star Wars protection program.
I like to call the show Breaking Boring. You know what I mean? It's about a drug planet, not going so well. Jesse Arrakis, Duncan White. It's a whole thing. Yeah, I could see it. They open a car wash.
I like Tremors, and I like the worms in Beetlejuice too.
That's what it's telling. My wife's like, you don't like the sand worms? Oh, I love Beetlejuice. She's like, you fucking dick. Like, I think Beetlejuice is fantastic. Never trust the living. Like,
Right.
I need. What's the moral here? The moral is rich people got rich people problems. You know, that's the problem.
Right.
The
And if you breed enough, you get superheroes. I don't know. I don't.
original movie, the David Lynch version, is I have a soft place for it in my heart, but it's basically a hot mess.
Yeah.
And I like the new version a lot because it kind of sells more of what the book is. So
Yeah, you
I
get
just
more
kind of
what's
wish.
with that stake.
30 years, you might get 3 of them. The way they're shooting this thing. Can't
Well,
wait. Can't
I
wait.
just want them to do the first book, and I don't care about anything else.
Yeah, a lot of the people who, I mean, I'd say a good chunk of the people who worked on it are the same people who made the Star Wars movies. I knew people who were working on both. Were going over to Dune. By the way, did you guys ever see this IG-11 statue in the background? Man of Season 2.
Yep.
Look at him. It looks like his leg is like jumping up or down. But the reason why I wanted to bring this shot up was Season 2 like came out for me and it happened or whatever. I was like, okay. And by the way, see this building right up here, right up on the top above Mando's head?
Mm-hmm.
That right there was built where these hills up here, that's where I am looking down at the set.
Oh, so that's
in reality. Those hills are fake, obviously.
Yeah.
But this building right here was made, and but one of the things that I noticed was the stuff I was seeing on speeders and the prints that I was seeing for the new season. It's right here next to Grief Karga. That I put up a picture of a weird print, and you could see a version of it right here next to him. So just in case we were kind of debating back and forth if we were going back to this planet, and we completely are. And look, you can see a little bit of plants here, but there's the yellow awnings that we've seen before, but now there's going to be trees here, and it's going to start looking better. And I think it is going to imply a time jump. Also,
so what's this thing say? Eat at Joe's?
What was that?
What does the little scribbly stuff say? Eat at Joe's?
Eat at Joe's. Eat at Joe's. But see all the black gunk that's like the lava, like the molten lava kind of stuff that's formed all over the sides of the buildings?
Mm-hmm.
I am not seeing any of that anywhere in the next season either. So I guess they got their shit under control there, maybe. it's kind of what happens by season 3.
Well, they didn't have people going out there and just throwing shit at the buildings mass amounts anymore, so it eventually just kind of came off.
Maybe it was IG-11, like a cat just wiping it, like running its ass over the carpet, doing it over the sides of the buildings all the time. They just don't show that because nobody wants to see it on camera. But after IG-11 dies, they built a statue of him, and then slowly over time, things come back. Turns out IG-11 was a terrible tyrant. Ruined the planet.
Yeah, all actually, right. It says eat at Joe Johnston's.
Eat at Joe Johnston.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
All right, so this is for Rob, too. Who will survive when the light of the Jedi goes dark? The conclusion of Phase 1.
Can't wait. They're all dressed like Padme in Attack of the Clones and The Witcher. That's great.
Yeah, if anybody's having a what's that?
Is that a blue Yoda?
Where?
Up a little more.
No, he's just holding his breath.
To the left?
Yeah. No, that's the dude from Palpatine's. Oh, that one? Yeah, he's just. Oh yeah, look at that. No, it's like a Bothan.
Is that a Bothan?
I think it's I think it's
a Bluthen.
Like it's a Bothan and a Yoda who did it, made a baby, and it's this guy. And he's like, everybody thinks I'm dumb.
It's a bench.
It's a bench.
Yeah, he just goes around saying, "I'm all ears, bro. I'm all ears."
Don't be a little bitch. That's a popular phrase in Star Wars. It's true.
He's all before he kills the Sith. He's all, life's a bitch, and then you die. And you're like, no, don't do it. This is a Triceratops, man. These are my clones.
Colin Robinson.
But yeah,
I'm gonna bore my brother to death.
Who will survive?
Oh, here you go. I got this for Rob because Rob, Anakin Force Ghost comes back and he says, "Heh."
I thought it was like, from Spider-Verse.
Have you seen Dune? Like, sorry. It's good, huh? Like, yeah, it's great, Anakin. Can't
Is that
fucking
like a
wait for more.
storyboard version of Anakin Force
No,
Ghost?
it's from the Vader's Castle comics.
Oh.
But yeah, they finally put Darth Vader or Anakin in. There's no such thing as Ghost. He says.
Never trust the living, Luke. Okay. Wait, I'm alive. Damn it.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, where I'm going with that though is if Lucasfilm is going to let them put Anakin's ghost in a comic book and use it in any way, as we've seen based off of style guide shit, the kibosh usually goes on that stuff. That's the stuff that doesn't get it for sure, and so it makes me think Ghost Anakin is definitely going to be what we're going to be seeing more.
It is like how he has Mel Gibson's hair from Lethal Weapon now.
Yeah,
You know,
Beetle Vader, Beetle Vader, Beetle Vader.
yeah.
Beetle Vader. Yeah.
And then this was the thing that we talked about the other day with Rosario Dawson saying Sky Guy, they know, see you soon, Snips. Man, Sky Guy and Snips did always kind of annoy me, but nothing annoyed me more than Artui. So if we keep Artui out, I think I'll be okay. I think I'll make it.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
That's
seems good.
finest.
And then
Check out my
cover.
new paint job. It's good.
If you open it up on the inside, there's a full spread of Tamara Morrison.
Don't take an Arpui all over that idea. Jason.
You're gonna like it. I swear.
Is that like a backpack? He's got like a hoodie.
Yeah, it looks.
Yeah.
I
I just like it scraped up. I don't like it perfectly clean.
Yeah,
I preferred it in Empire where it was all beat up.
sure.
I like it when he shows up in the Mando and it's beat up beyond anything we've ever seen beat up before. Like he looks like battle damage He-Man all over. So
Ooh, yeah.
I like that look.
Okay,
I
that
get
was
why they
the
cleaned it.
Toy I haven't seen, so we'll skip
Yeah,
it.
but that definitely looks like first day of Mando school. He's got like all his clean shit together. It's cool. Oh, look, Quill.
Going in for
Now
the
we know.
quill.
braids.
Misty Roses interviewed.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool cover. Boring logo though. Couldn't get more
Yeah.
boring than that. Can we go back
the-
to the Chrome logos, like where they really just airbrush the shit out of everything to make it look real? Like I don't know, so boring.
Yeah, it is kind of
Trying to be
muted.
grounded these days.
I just don't want the New Yorker as a Star Wars magazine. Like I just think something Star Wars should be inherently cheesy. There should be a little bit of that in there.
Well, that's kind of the I think kind of a Lucasfilm problem. Like when you watch their videos and stuff, they're like, who is
Tell
this
me about it,
for?
bro.
Who is this for? You know what
Bro,
I mean?
It's
So-
refresher reading stuff, man. Okay, when they go to the refresher.
The Lucasfilm, they have this classic style guide, right? And it's all these images from the 70s that were created for marketing and stuff. And one of them is like Vader's head as space and an X-Wing's coming out of it, right? Very 70s. I put that verbatim on a shirt. Just want to get it done. It's on a shirt. And they were like, we don't like the composition. I'm like, it's your fucking shit from the 70s. Perhaps you should look at your own style guide. You know what I mean? Go back and tell fucking George and whoever conjures. I mean, it's just that they take everything so serious. I think if you ever read The Art of Drew Struzan, he talks about this problem at Lucasfilm specifically. And it occurs around Attack of the Clones.
Mm-hmm.
He just says when these art directors know Photoshop, which is old guy slang for just a person who feels they can just manipulate anything into a perfect image. But this design sense, when I was making this game magazine once that was very evocative of the 90s. And the minute I did, I had endless graphic designers tell me, you're doing it wrong. It's not how it's done. It looks like it needs to be done like this. And I'm like, that's why all your shit looks the same. Like that, and that's why I look at this. I'm like, if there's any magazine that could look like 80s fucking sticker book magic on the stands at Star Wars, they'll give it the biggest pass in the world. Why make it look like so serious, man? I just don't.
That's bounty hunter aficionado.
Yeah, for real. That's what I said. That's like GQ. Remember? So when the special edition came out, Calvin Klein, they did like a bunch of like Calvin Klein spoof shirts at Lucasfilm. It was like SW in the like I had one of these things and I was like, oh wow, that looks great. 3 years later I'm like, pretentious bullshit. And it was on an olive green background in a serif font. And I'm like, that's what it looks like. Like that. It's not the Star Wars. I don't know. Like I just look at that and I'm like, that people who weren't fans made this. That's what I feel like. I feel like people who know design, quote unquote, do this stuff. So I don't know.
This is what's going to sit on the coffee table the longest.
Yeah, it looks.
What coffee table? Frank Marshall's?
Sit on my coffee table because one, I don't have a coffee table, and two, I don't buy magazines anymore.
Yeah, I actually love the idea of the Star Wars Insider. I don't want it to go away or anything like that, and
right,
it's fine. Like when it's just like general articles about Star Wars that are kind of evergreen. It's cool but otherwise it doesn't really hold up because you can't really keep up with the news cycle in a magazine. But I also don't really read magazines anymore or buy them, and yeah, so it's kind of a weird relic, something I don't want to go away. But if it does, it's like, well, I guess it's only a matter of time.
This is why I wish it was more Mad Magazine and less serious. Like,
yeah,
you could have like goof articles written by Bosk, and he's like he types out those noises and shit.
You know what, dude? Maybe, I was just thinking about that, and I love the idea, but what a nightmare it would be because this is a fan base that takes itself so seriously.
So serious.
It really can't really make a joke without somebody, having a tizzy over it.
How soon before somebody starts making these things or somewhat collectible by paying money for old ones?
Oh no, these are never going to be worth anything.
Well, no, I don't know, man. These
people buy weirder stuff, man. I sell models I build to people on eBay.
No, so what I think you could have a Dark Empire to issue 2 situation where some of these we don't know what the print run is on them, so they could be very low, and in the end, a collector who wants the whole thing may end up having to pay a lot for some of the final issues or for some of the random issues. I'm just throwing
if it had like some first appearance of something that ends up being like the biggest thing in Star Wars since with Boba Fett, perhaps, right? But I don't like. Look, I've endlessly gotten into arguments with magazine people over this, and the news aside, like I get my news from the Making Star Wars podcast show. Why would I fucking buy this magazine? Mm-hmm. If it were just something more fun, if it had fucking like stickers and fucking shit, or I don't know, man, something where it's like, the toys were a big deal, or like, I don't know. It's just when you ever open these things and most of them are just ads for Star Wars collectible cups and the Warner Brothers fucking gift shop and shit. So
yeah, no, I completely like I said, I don't really read the magazine anymore because
almost feel like they should give it out for free at Disneyland too. Like when you go to Star Tours, you could just grab one if you wanted it.
Free Insider Day,
or if you bought something, you got it. How about that?
Yeah,
the Darth Maul one that they did way back before the prequels came out, like or right around the time that episode 1 was going to come out. Yeah, and it had this awesome shot of him on the cover and stuff, and it said "Revenge of the Sith," and I go, "That's what the 3rd movie's going to be called."
Yeah, that was a good looking one, and back then, what they used to have inside was the first page or so. Rick McCallum would do an interview with them, and he would drop things that only showed up there.
Yeah.
And that was what kept me buying that magazine back then. But then what you started having happen was people would get it, some people would get it 5 days before everyone else in the mail. Because they like live in the right spot, and then they put the information online, and then it kind of became like a why bother kind of thing for them. But I still think having news in there would make the magazine more viable. And would make it more fun.
Nice painted cover would help too. Make it not look like some fucking Newsweek trash. Sorry, Allison, go ahead.
I agree. That's fine. That's okay. I appreciate that. That's good.
But I will say to go. Oh, sorry, Allison, were you talking?
I was trying to.
Go ahead.
I used to work at Babbage's, and way back, before it was GameStop, before it was, merged with software, etc., and all that stuff.
Right.
And we had Star Wars Insider that would come in. I'd just grab a copy of it and stick it in the back. And, at the end of the month, you have to mail back all of the missing ones, the ones that didn't sell. So apparently, you just tear the cover off and send it back. Well, that one didn't sell. So and that's how I'd read them all.
Yeah.
The Darth Maul one I bought, though, because, well, I like the cover.
Yeah. The magazine was I would say thriving then too, because
magazines were a lot different then. I mean, I was reading Next Gen then. I was reading was it Electronic Gaming Monthly? Yeah, EGM. I was reading that. I was reading the Play magazine, I think, for the PlayStation 1.
Hey, there was no Play magazine back then, but PlayStation magazine, PSM.
Yeah. That's it, PSM. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when the PlayStation 1 was called the PSX.
Yeah, they also used to put exclusive photos in there from like the next movies, like the Naboo Starfighter, like pictures of the Naboo hangars and stuff like that in those issues.
Mm-hmm.
And all of that stuff right there made it like today, if they were to put that stuff out and put high res images in there of photos and stuff like that, that would also make it something where I might want it.
I wish the stuff that was going in Cinefex magazine, now that Cinefex is gone, the really technical stuff were in this. That way it felt like an insider. Like I'm getting inside the production. Like it could actually show me all this weird construction going down on a Mando set. Interview the prop people and the below the line construction people and all that stuff that's not going to affect spoilers on the outcome of the story, but getting people hyped up and reading about how the movies are made. That's the whole point of the insiders, to get an insight on how they're creating this stuff.
Yeah.
Not fluff PR pieces, that have
zero impact.
Fun perennial font layouts and shit. Like I
miss it.
Inside the new Star Wars Beats by Dre headphones.
Yeah, well, that's very much like the DC fandom when like it's 3 hours long and 2.5 hours of it are like advertisements for hats, like based loosely off characters you don't care about. It's not even like cosplay. It's like no, it's a fashionable hat that has a Star Wars pattern on the inside.
When you say hat, do you mean a lid? Sorry.
Man, I miss that shop, huh? Don't we all miss going to the mall, going to Lids before the pandy? Wasn't that our favorite thing to do? You get right out the movie, you go in there and you get a Raiders cap, a lid. I feel like Jamie Kennedy.
$80.
Yeah. I feel like Jamie Kennedy every time I walk out that place.
I try never to walk into that place.
We have 2 malls and they both have the lids.
Lids forever, bro. Oh, did you guys see the Buzz Lightyear trailer?
They sell a lot of hats in Stockton.
I saw that it had dropped. I haven't watched it yet.
I don't actually like really give 2 shits about Toy Story in the big picture. Like I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, it's fine,
I still have to watch the
I don't
fourth
care.
one, I think.
And but that Buzz,
yes,
the Buzz Lightyear trailer, I kind of want to see that movie. I was kind of surprised. It looks like a fun little space Battlestar Galactica, original Battlestar Galactica kind of vibes to it in a good way.
Kind of looks like an extension of what they were doing on WALL-E as well, with some of the more serious sci-fi renderings and stuff. I know people were like, "Were we gonna get the Woody movie?" I was like, I would love that logo, but they won't. I mean, Woody's Roundup, they'll probably do some shit like. I think that's the smarter way to introduce new voice actors for these characters, because Jason and I were talking about that when I told him that I had watched Toy Story 4 over my birthday week. And I'm like, you can hear in some of the actors that they're aging. Some of those voices, your voice changes as you get older. I still have this. One day I won't. Kind of thing. Right. But this is the smarter way to kind of like, I think, to do like the serious, like the lore story with the new actors, so you're able to then transfer that actor to the toy one when they eventually bring the toy ones back, and they will.
Yeah,
they will.
Definitely will.
So,
well, I would like them to do the Woody movie with Tom Hanks, but I want the guy who wrote Deadwood to do it. So he's like, "Hey, cocksuckers,
I want Chet Hanks to do the voice.
Yeah, White Boy
Get Kelsey
Summer.
Grammer back. Yeah,
It's still White Boy Summer, right? Even though it's like kind of.
I want it to go horribly wrong. Yeah, I want Limp Bizkit to be the horse. You know, like all of them, just combine their voices together so it's one voice.
God,
it's all about the bloop 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 bloop.
The other night, I was watching that one dude Andrew from All Gas No Breaks. That's Channel 5 now with Andrew Callahan, something like that. I was watching an interview with him, and I fell asleep in the middle of the night. I had a dream. I was directing a movie about the Turtles with Andrew Callahan as the singer from the Turtles. And I was like, whoa, that guy really looks like that guy. But I never knew until I was directing a movie in a dream I had that he looks like the guy from the Turtles. Not the Ninja Turtles, the band, the old 60s band. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. David says, I say bring Blum back and give Serkis a new characters. And yeah, I kind of think it could be I kind of think if Serkis is playing Snoke, it could be an interesting kind of thing for that series to have if the Snoke project is something that Cassian is trying to crack. Trying to get the
Snoker.
Yeah. And perhaps even like that season of Cassian, we see why it doesn't work for Palpatine. Maybe that's like the big win, is that whatever Cassian is able to get from them allows them to not fully truly bring Snoke to fruition for Palpatine's new sexy tall man body. Because they made him hot, by the way. I don't know if you guys know that, but in the Lucasfilm archives, hot Snoke exists. We're talking fucking fine as fuck with fucking long golden blonde hair Snoke exists.
Does he have that dapper haircut where he was like all shaved on the side with a little curl?
No, he's like fucking like Draco Malfoy's dad.
No, he likes to hang out in the steam room.
He's got the big must. I like the big stash with the twirls.
Yeah. No, he definitely would go in the steam room and open up his thing, and you could just see like one of his Snoke balls hanging out. You're like, come on, dude! We don't want to.
Snoke's a big bloke, right?
This ain't the YMCA, dude.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever have to go to a YMCA locker room as a kid? You're like, what the fuck? You ever had that experience?
No.
I did literally the month before pandemic hit, because we got this Olympic size swim. It's like the second largest Olympic pool, and I was like, I want to go swimming again. So I go to the Y, I get in that gym, and I'm like, I haven't experienced this shit since the 7th grade. And so I get all cleaned up, whatever. I go in there, I swim, I get out, and then I vomited through my nose when I came home because I got some kind of like stomach fucking sickness. And I was like, that's it, no more pools. I'm never going to pool again. Fucking disgusting people. And then the pandemic hit.
It was a trailer for what was coming. The world will be vomiting
out
through
my
its
nose. I haven't vomited since 1990 when Batman came out on tape because I ate too much candy. I watched Batman 18 times and ate too much candy and threw up. So.
Half-burnt Salacious Crumb surviving the cell barge explosion, shown as an Easter egg in the background in the first episode of Book of Boba Fett. In the background, as we see Boba crawl out of the Sarlacc.
Only if
Salacious Crumb is Snoke
into the Sarlacc afterwards.
Good. Yeah. Did you guys see that little? What's that? There's like a Boba Fett documentary coming out, and it's going to be and on it they show like some like behind the scenes footage, and it's mostly just a convention appearance by Boba Fett at like Celebration, the last Celebration or something like that. But they do show a moment of him with Han, and I never got to really look at it very closely. But I'm like, is that from Return of the Jedi, or did they remake the Return of the Jedi moment? And that's one of the things that I wanted to throw out there that occurred to me when I was looking at that, is that there were Tatooine show was saying Luke and Han are in the Boba Fett story. Everybody, myself included, started going right to, he's going to go after Han and Luke for like revenge and blah 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 blah. It occurred to me, you know what it probably is? It's probably Han and Luke on the skiff. They probably reshot it. They're probably going to do some face trickery, and they're gonna show that experience for Boba Fett going in the Sarlacc and coming out. That's my prediction now.
Oh, that makes sense.
Right? It makes the most sense. Occam's razor on that one.
Sorry, I just had a crazy thought.
What's
Not
that?
crazy. He was watching Shrek the other day, and so the Pinocchio went, "I'm a real boy." He falls in. I'm a real boy.
this guy. I'm a clone boy.
Fire! No, fire! I'm on fire! I'm on fire! It's eaten.
Oh my god,
Shit.
it's terrible
David's-
down here.
David says, you got to admit, though, guys, Denis Villeneuve clearly stole some concepts from Star Wars.
Oh no!
Okay.
No, I had no idea. Oh my gosh. Oh, news break. I can't wait to write that article. Make that video clickbaity.
David says the navigators were the people at the beginning on Arrakis with the orange bubble helmets.
Oh.
Oh, that
Okay.
doesn't.
Were those
I don't
guys
know.
walking with the Herald? Is that what she's referring to? In the white suits?
Yeah, I just thought they were guild members. I didn't think they were the navigators, because the navigators
neither.
were like special. Like they were.
Our navigators from 1978. Am I right, Rob? Am I right?
Too many Twinkies.
Yeah, you know.
What?
A Pee Wee Herman there.
Yeah, they're not
Hey,
like the
Jay.
navigators in the Chiss.
Jay is a serious film fan, and he's like, you and Rob are idiots, I'm sure. Dune Part 2 has been given the go-ahead by WB and Legendary to be released October 2023. The screenplay and FPRs are already completed. All right, cool.
Wow. Can't wait.
We know it's Rob's favorite movie. That he
Yeah, I
Their
can't wait.
exhilaration is lacking.
Yeah, it's no Hondo, but it'll do.
Wait, Joel says the previous 2 issues had a really good interview with Rick McCallum and some nice behind-the-scenes photos from Young Indy. Yeah, that was one. That's what I was gonna say. When they having McCallum involved makes everything better. And Santa is just wanted us to know that he just saw Lid Store in Branson.
Told you.
Speaking of Star Wars Santa, I'm not going to spoil it, but in Only Murders in the Building, they drop a Paper Moon bit. Like the guy, Martin Short mentions Steve Martin and Selena Gomez together as being, they're pulling a Paper Moon or something.
Right.
And him and his he has a girlfriend, and so the girlfriend is younger but not young, and so he calls it Paper Moon. And my wife goes, "What's Paper Moon?" I'm like, "I'll have to explain this to you later." Like, it's not the time. Like I'll get into it.
It's this movie we like talk about like every day, but Jason hasn't watched yet.
Yeah, it's great. But,
Yeah, I know it's good.
Oh no. See,
Oh. It's just us.
one of us is getting bumped. Who will it be?
Wait, what?
Well, is Jason getting bumped, or are we all getting bumped? That's the question.
Oh, I think Jason's getting bumped down. We're chilling.
Oh yeah, he's like
know.
frozen. Oh, no,
There he
he's
is.
back.
No.
He's got no voice, but he's back.
All right,
Yes.
I'm frozen in carbonite. Uh-oh.
Too many streams, buddy.
Remember what happened to Han Solo and how he
Too
broke
many
out of carbonite in our version?
Mm.
Yeah,
Boners.
he's like Kira, right? they probably asked Dave Filoni Jr. So, what makes this whole carbonite chase going? He's all, he probably gets a carbonite boner because he's like sleeping, and I always get boners when I'm sleeping.
He's like, they sell chocolate covered bananas at the park. You just hold it.
Where do you think I hang my hat?
Uh-oh, they found me. I don't know how, but they
I live
found me.
next to a hospital.
Run, Jason, run!
I live next to a
No,
fire station. I get it all the
I
time.
also live by a fire station and a police station.
There's a meme from Back to the Future, and it has Doc Brown going, "They found me. I don't know how, but they found me." And then it shows this fucking van, and it says Doc Brown Enterprises, super fucking big on the side. Yeah. So, Luke saw. Did anyone get eaten by the Sarlacc?
Well, there's
Yeah,
a bunch
like
of guys that fell into
4
it.
guys that got tossed in there.
Brada got
minutes.
eaten. That little puppy face motherfucker. He got eaten for sure.
The weak way he got it right.
Yeah, he got. Yeah, they like pulled his little his little hair. He's like, and he got pulled in, and he got.
I was gonna throw Wald in there. I thought it'd be a good, thing for the prequels to put Wald into Sarlacc, but I got overruled.
As a kid, Milli Vanilli kind of ruined Weequay for me. I started like looking at him, like it kind of reminds me of Milli Vanilli the way he wears his hair.
I was gonna put Warwick in Stilt so he can do the full body.
I auditioned
They
for
didn't
that.
want to. He didn't think it'd be safe to do that. So
In this next season, Willow's tall. All Willow.
It's all Willow.
yeah,
So
It's called
Tall Willow.
Willow.
That's the name of the show. Actually,
Willow,
It's
stand
my-
tall.
I just heard on the news that
standing
they
tall.
have a surgery now that can give you anywhere from 2 inches to 5 inches of height.
Oh, I was excited. And then you said
Hulk
height.
Hogan already did that. Like he claimed he had of all the back surgeries he grew 5 inches.
I believe they call that the rack.
It's something like that. Apparently, they give you some kind of metal shit they put in there.
Yeah, the new series
like
is called
Rick?
6 Foot Willow. It's just 6 foot at the big. Yeah.
In
That
Back to the
has so many
Future, Griff,
connotations that I'm just not going to go with.
Yeah.
yeah. Griff is able to like do it though. He's able to like grow with those bionic implants. So, yeah.
I'm
so
sorry, Kaya. I'm just too big to live in that hut.
she's like Kaya's like cutting off her hair, just keeps cutting off her hair and giving it to him, and he just keeps getting bigger and bigger every time he goes
And
out.
there goes the monetization. All right.
It's called Super Willow because we're gonna make a video game sequel as well where he can just get taller. You can. It's Super Willow. Like
Super
Willow.
We just add water. It's like zero.
I wanted to have like a little yellow Mario cape. Like when Mario can fly.
we
Eat
tried
some mushroom,
Tanuki
get
Willow, but
bigger.
apparently it's trademarked, so we couldn't do it.
Vertical cuts.
What's this stuff here? It says drink me.
Warwick actually lives in a boot, so we couldn't do that one because it's just kind of mean. So.
Is it that green boot that jumps from Mario 3?
That's the joke. That's exactly what I was saying, Jason.
Okay. I thought you were going with some like classic Puss in Boots material or something.
No, that's too recent for me. Like, my favorite magazine was Pocket Power, the miniature version of Nintendo Power they gave out at the Willow premieres. I mean, the Wizard premieres.
Nintendo Power, baby.
Yeah, Pocket Power was my favorite because it could fit in your pocket.
Released it.
What was that, Allison?
I saw Willow in the theater. Both times they released it because they had like a release at one point as another fire truck coming. But they had released it at one point, then it disappeared, and then it came back again for its full run.
Yeah. Willow like came out, and then I think they expected it to like do better, and then they did like a second push of it for like, hey, just in case you guys don't know, but everybody was like, hey, coming to America or something like that.
I don't know.
I don't
which one
remember.
I saw, but I saw it once in the theater. So
I saw
Oh,
it once
cool.
too. I saw it a few times. I was actually wish I had it here. I have this Nirvana book, and it's like Nirvana, like Kurt Cobain photography and artwork and stuff. And in it, there's this picture of him like in his like first like apartment, but in the back you could see a big box of the of the cereal with Willow on it, and he's just like, "I'm Willow" on the back of the cereal box. And I was like, I remember that. I totally forgot.
Well, we had him jump naked into a pool, and Warwick was fine with us printing the cover, but he's more endowed than Val Kilmer, so it just was seen as.
rumor has it.
Sorry. Yeah. The other one was going to be we were going to make a polygonal Willow digitally and call it Willow 64, but apparently that's trademarked as well. So.
Willow 64. That's so dumb.
This is all I do. Like, it was this or watch Doom. What do you think I'm doing? Like.
Well,
But I can't get my kids to watch Ghostbusters 1 and 2, but they're really excited to go watch the new Ghostbusters. Explain that to me.
they
I
need to
don't
be
know,
disowned immediately.
He won't stop watching Ghostbusters. At least see it once a week here.
Do you? Yeah. I'm hoping that the new one will. My son was like, I think, afraid of horror films, and he considers that, I think, a horror film, even though it's not. So I think he's like acts like he doesn't want to watch it because of that. My daughter watches it. I should probably say that,
on the weekend, he goes. We wake up Sunday morning, and he's like, "Hey, I watched Freddy versus Jason last night." What do you mean you watched it last night when we were in bed? He's like, "Yeah, it's not scary though. I don't think it's really scary. It's kind of fun because they have a big fight."
yeah.
And so that led to him watching a few more of the Nightmare on Elm Street and the Jason movies.
Is he freaked out now?
No.
Let him watch
Dude.
The Thing. Have fun with that one.
Solve a
Get
problem.
it really cold. Turn the AC on till it hits about 42, and then put everyone in blankets and make them watch The Thing, and we'll see.
And we
My
have
wife
3
tried to
dogs.
tell me. She did that one. She's a grown woman. She was like, Jaws ain't scary. I'm like, you were probably talking and having a good time, right? She's like, yeah. All right. So I set the mood, you know, and I can assure you, when those 2 fishermen are in the silhouette at the docks and they're being dragged into the water, that gets motherfuckers every time, bro. Like that's one of the most underrated scenes in that film.
The head in the boat.
But yeah, and that weird. So James Gunn had a whole thing once on Twitter where he's like, post a shot from a movie that still fucking creeps you out. And the one I did it's that shot in Jaws when those kids are in the boat and you can see Jaws grabs a guy, but it's just under the surface of the water, kind of sideways with the eye. And he's like, that shit's still fucking. It fucks you up when you
creepy.
see it. Yeah, it's still because it's the actual ocean. It has that green tint. There's nothing, so it does work.
Let me. Yeah, go
I
on,
have
Nelson.
lots of fun stories about Jaws. It wasn't filmed that far from where I live.
Oh yeah,
I know people who were in it as background characters who still
awesome.
receive checks to this day.
That's pretty rad.
Anybody know Kevin Bacon?
He was Chum. They put bits of Kevin Bacon in the Chum. You
That
didn't know that?
explains a lot.
Yeah, that's why he's actually connected 7 ways. Those are actually bits of all the actors in that Chum.
Makes sense.
So that's
They had
how
to
he gets
staple them
around.
together for Friday the 13th, and
Yeah,
kind of
it's true.
Then he gets stabbed in the neck, and everybody laughed.
Everyone had to drink from it before they shot. It
That's
was a
true.
blood pact.
Exactly.
That's how you do it.
Do you guys ever like? I do this thing where I kind of have this is what a weirdo I am. I kind of have a hard time with underwater movies because I hold my breath when I watch them. Yeah, I find that I start holding my breath subconsciously, and I have to tell myself breathe.
Leviathan. Let me see. Leviathan, Sphere,
like
the Abyss,
underwater moments. Yeah, I don't get it.
Deep Blue Sea.
I mean,
The only one that gets me is the Abyss because they were literally underwater. Like the scene when Ed Harris and the big trucker dude got to hold their breaths to go swimming to get under.
Yeah,
I get the water's not freezing and shit, but like that's still them legitimately doing all that shit, and it's just like, and I have claustrophobia since the army days, and I'm just like being under a rig in a tank that's covered with black beads would fuck me up a bit. Like
yeah,
it really would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I remember seeing Titanic and going in to see it, talking with my boyfriend at the time, and they're like, I was like, I wonder what they'll show for such and such or do things. It's like, you better not spoil this movie for me. I'm like, did you hear the boat sinks in the end?
yeah. That's for Titanic.
No, I like the helmets that they came up with for the Abyss, so you can see the actors' faces.
Yeah,
in them while they're underwater.
The director's cut of the Abyss is fantastic. Prefer that over the regular version.
Yeah, I remember there was like a weird thing about it. I don't remember what the footage was, but there was like a time when they started showing the director's cut on cable, and they didn't really tell anybody it was different though. And we're just like watching it. We're like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? There's like this like things that are there that weren't there before and stuff. And then I don't think it was until like the Laserdisc maybe that they were like, here's the director's cut of the movie or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was on the Laserdisc.
Thanks, Kathleen Kennedy. Thanks for fucking that one up.
Michael Bean's what is it? Michael Bean's knife, when he pulls out the knife at the end, that just sold at auction for like $45,000.
Damn.
So really quickly, we need to get to these chats real quick. Hulk Hogan says a lot of made up things.
Yeah, it's true.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Willow is the Dune of Battlefield Earths.
I like that. Hold on, I'm writing that one down. All right.
And then Talking Sith podcast. Thank you for the super chat, dude. Says what are all the 10 projects in stages of production, and what do we speculate the unknowns could be? So we got all right. So what do we got off the top of my head? This is a lot, but we got Ahsoka. We got Boba Fett, which is pretty much out almost, but Boba Fett, Ahsoka.
That'd be in post at most, but I think I'm on that right now.
Acolyte?
Acolyte, yeah.
Yeah, it's in pre.
Then we got what's the other one? Kenobi.
Mando season 4?
Kenobi with Kitster as
in Manhattan Beach. That one that counts. That counts.
Are we talking about the Manhattan Beach ones? Is that what we're going with?
Well, because that was the story that you said 10 were in development right now.
Yeah,
in Manhattan Beach.
So yeah. So anyways, yeah, that are in development now. Well, I guess Kenobi, Lando most likely. Acolyte's at Pinewood. Acolyte, I believe, was Pinewood.
Oh.
Yeah, they're shooting that.
Yeah, and then I don't know, man. I mean, Willow's also at Pine. Actually, Willow's in Wales, at a studio in Wales. I put what it was. Can't remember. It's like Dragon Studios or something like that.
It's Lucasfilm Projects. It didn't say Star Wars specifically, right? So
yeah, it's the
Red Tails 2.
Red Tails 2.
Right, Radioland, more murders.
God,
right?
well, what Red Tails? They made more Red Tails. It would just get like, oh, we're giving all these people syphilis and fucked up shit like that.
Defender. Now Warwick promised me he wouldn't do that again. So, Defenders of Dynatron City, Maniac Mansion 2. God, I would love a a real one. Monkey Island, Pirates of the Caribbean 6, and Full Throttle. I don't know. Like
one thing I will throw out. I one thing, not to be like those sites that drop bullshit every couple of days. One thing I heard was in production, or that was going to go into production at some point. And I don't know if it did, or if it still is, and if it's even a thing anymore, if it became a thing. But was that it's the Saw Gerrera and the Partisans were supposed to have something, but I don't know anything about it other than what I just said. Somebody told
Rangers,
me.
Right? So Rangers is still technically on, right?
Rangers is still on.
That gives us 7. That's
I'm
keeping real track, folks. Don't get all mad. I'm goofing this up. Which one do I do? I have to let you look.
In the weird holding pattern, though. It's not even like in production right now.
No, it's just that it hadn't been written yet, so it wasn't. The report was it wasn't in active development, but that's just because Favreau hadn't written it yet.
Okay, well that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Can we assume at this? Can we assume at this point there'll be a High Republic something? They seem to be fucking knee deep in this.
Some of the people I know at Marvel were talking about that, so
I have to assume that's. Well, I'll just say for fan math, that's 8. Like there's something.
I mean, Acolyte takes place at the end of the High Republic, so it strikes me they will be doing something High Republic.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense because with basically by putting it at the end of the High Republic, they can essentially retcon all of the work that they're doing now into becoming whatever that starts off as, if they have to.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? It just allows them to go, oh, and then everybody died. If they have to, they can just do that. And or this happened and the space station blew up and then the war changed and now we're here. And obviously they know what they're doing in the Acolyte.
Would Fallen Order 2 be a project that they could say Lucasfilm?
Live action?
No, I'm just saying something that they're working on.
No,
but they said Fallen Order.
No, this is all stuff that what Talking Sith the podcast is referencing are things that in my article where I talk about what's going to Manhattan Beach, and that's
that would be some of the stuff definitely wouldn't be at Manhattan Beach then, because
Acolyte isn't going to be filmed there, so as far as I know. But at Manhattan Beach, they're scrambling to make more stages to get more to have more volume space created and all of that. And so it definitely, like, what the people working down there believe now is that the work is going to be plentiful, so they should strike. Because they're gonna be working like day and night if they don't. But
goddamn Ubi Iwerks, he just won't fucking stop. Walt told me about him.
Yeah, but I know I do think I have a hard time not seeing the Cassian show being what spins off the Saw Gerrera and the Partisans story. And my guess on that one is that I was going to save this and write up an article about it, but I have so very little on it. I feel like it would be like a bold point and then all speculation, and that gets scary. It gets rocky, and people don't listen whenever I qualify things. I'm like, this is what I know, and then here's my speculation. They just lump it all together. So,
well, would they include Saw Gerrera's storyline or arc with him? Could it be part of the Rangers show?
No, because he's dead. He's dead.
The Ranger show is after the destruction of the second Death Star.
Yeah,
it's like in the Mando time frame.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, Rangers Timothy Oliphant and friends, and that's what I've been told anyway. And
it was Cara Dune, wasn't that her name? She got kicked, right?
She was just one of the friends. They from what I understand, that was way overblown, the importance of her to that show. It's like and somebody one time used the analogy that, like, if the X-Wings, if Rogue Squadron is cops in space, this is Chips, and he is the Poncherelli, Timothy Oliphant, and he ends up having other people that he has adventures with as these disparate officers help each other defend their various settlements across the Republic to, like, restabilize the galaxy. And so Cara Dune most likely would have been a very important character in the series, but she was no way was the person carrying the.
She wasn't the
show.
linchpin.
No, not at all, and that was politicized and turned into the case after what happened.
Yeah, she's part of 4-7. The Rangers ninja outfit that helps Chips out from time to time.
She was going to be their Tackleberry, not their Mahoney.
She sleeps with her gun.
Yeah, she does. Because those libtards ain't fucking taking it from Cara Dune, I'll tell you that much.
I still found it funny that they all bitched when she appeared, and then she get kicked off the show. They bitched to, like, you're getting rid of a great character.
Yeah, they all had videos calling her a Mary Sue, and then after that, she was what brought Star Wars back. It's like, give me a fucking break. I'm cool with
that's how I felt about Marsha.
With fans having like weird attachments to nobody characters and stuff like that, because it's what we do. But at least be consistent with yourself, like. If there was like a video in between where they're like, you know what, I changed my mind. She wasn't a Mary Sue. I saw season 2 and she is the best. Then I'd be like, okay.
It's like asking Pop-Tarts to have a consistent flavor, Jason. Like, at the end of the day, it's still fucking Pop-Tart. Like, it's not really fruit. It's not really pastry. It's just a byproduct of the 50s that won't go away.
They're only noodles.
It's filled with tears. Is basically what it's filled with.
And then Talking Sis says, could Rangers or one of the others be Avenger style culmination of all the shows coming together for the battle against Thrawn? And like that, I have actually floated that idea before, because that was the original Bob Iger kind of pitch about a Star Wars story franchises. About it's a little Chewbacca. That's what they were selling it as, is that Han Solo, he may end up meeting up with friends in the next one, and they were kind of pitching that idea at the investors meetings back then. So So could it go with Rangers being the culmination? It completely, totally could. In fact, and I also would not be surprised if we saw people like Timothy Oliphant showing up in Ahsoka. I don't know that for certain that happens, but it would
cool,
not
actually.
Yeah, it would not surprise me if we end up seeing that kind of stuff going on with all of these shows, and then having our big, Avengers show, because that is like the money maker. But you could also have that culminate into a film.
That's what I was also thinking you could do to a film.
Yeah.
And they have like 10 Star Wars films lined up or something. I'm throwing a number out there. I know it's a bunch of them. That they haven't said what they were. So.
Yeah, well, Crimson Dawn eventually bootlegs. And so they have their own thing called Red Rum.
Red Rum.
Red Rum.
Yeah.
Yep, Red Rum.
They're kind of, they sell on the boardwalk. They're like a bit of a alcohol empire in a way. Right?
I see. That makes sense. You got this Red Rum here, and they're not going to get sued by King, so it'll be great.
They own it all. They own everything now. What does it matter?
They own Stephen King now.
Yeah, they own it. Yeah, they bought him. He was part of the Fox deal. He's in there. What? How do you think all those Pet Sematary movies got made? Lawnmower Man, he sold himself. Like, came with it.
Yeah, we just
Dreamcatcher was terrible.
Just,
Yeah, I would like to go back to what we were talking about for a few minutes, because you brought up the Shining. If my son sees Freddy or Jason, he's like, "Fuck it, I'm out." Zombies, he's like, "This ain't for me. Bye." But I'm watching The Shining one time, and he gets dropped off, and he just comes over and sits with me, and I'm like watching it. I think he's gonna look at it for 2 minutes and go boring, and go play on his Nintendo or something. And he sits there, and because of its pacing, just hangs out with me and watches The Shining intently, and then gets into it and is sucked into the movie, and it's all about it. And then the bathroom scene happens with the lady in the and that messed with his little kid brain. I'm like, "Where are you going?" "I'm going outside." "Why are you going outside?" "Well, why are you going outside?" And then he goes inside and goes pee inside the bathroom. I'm like, he was going to take a piss outside because it scared him so good. And I was like, that movie kicks ass. And I had some family members who were mad at me about it. I'm like, no, that's great. That like stuff doesn't affect you like that forever. And then that's only when things affect you like that do you love it later. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. It's true.
He heard Here Comes Johnny somewhere. He hasn't seen the movie, but now he goes around the house saying it. And
Here's Johnny.
Now he's playing. Now he's playing Fortnite. And he screams into the mic, "Here comes Johnny!"
See, all I hear is DeBarge's "Who's Johnny?" And I'm like, what's so scary about Who's Johnny? I mean,
Who's Johnny?
Steve Gutenberg isn't in the video. It's weird to have to put up, like drawings of him or something. But I mean, Ali Sheedy's in there. They got Johnny Five back.
Where was Carrie Dune on January 6th?
But my take or whatever is that Cassian is going to set up the problem with Saw Gerrera's people, and then I have a feeling that we're going to end up having a series when Revolution goes wrong. Like, if you are Fidel Castro, you might have started what you were doing for the right reasons, but then you lose your way. And like, how does that happen? I have a feeling that's what we're going to see with Saw and with his people, and then probably how he ends up getting a bunch of weirdos with them. And I'd even throw it out there that if that does happen, Jyn Erso and the young story of Jyn might be a part of that. So we might end up seeing either Felicity Jones playing a younger version of herself in a weird way. She was like 15 or 16 when he dumps her, though, so she might be too old for that. But we may see Jyn Erso put back into the series, and what that whole story was about, why he dumps her, how they go about it, and what else was going on in the context of that story. That's my guess.
I wouldn't mind seeing a younger Jyn Erso. I really liked her character, so.
Yeah, they cut a lot of her character too. She was supposed to sort of be like this punk rocker kind of thing, And like when you watch the original trailers, she's like kind of sassing people a little bit back. When the
Yeah.
movie comes out, she's just more like, "Oh shit," you know,
No, I
about
much
what's going
preferred
on.
the scenes they cut from the trailer where, to like, I rebel, things like
Yeah,
that. It's just
Could
like,
one of the things in Cassian that's coming up with Saw be one of the situations why he becomes so untrustful the rest of the way he is in Rogue One?
I think we're gonna see. I think I'm guessing we're gonna see why they can't just straight up approach him anymore.
Yeah.
he's
Because
going to be too extreme even for them, is what I'm guessing.
yeah,
That's what I was
and
alluded to anyway.
My
what's
hope
that-
for my
Yeah.
hope for these series that they're making, though, like beyond just specifics, would be cool to see this, would be cool to see that, is that they do different genres, that you'll get like a horror one or more
Yeah.
comedic one, that they aren't just the straight line Mando tone, right? Throughout each one of them featuring different. I get we all like our serious Star Wars. I'm in that camp, but one would think it'd be great to do a Death Troopers like one off. You know what I mean? Like a 4-episode thing that plays around Halloween or something. That features Rangers or something.
The Underworld series that they planned on years ago, but actually make it, about like people living in the underworld more, like thieves and stuff, and push more with the crime things, like in Coruscant or whatever other planet, just not Tatooine.
Yeah, what that was
Doom
going
for
to that television show was going to be about a kid who survives Order 66, goes to 1313, just stops pretending to be a Jedi or stops being a Jedi anymore, and then is in there, and then you're going to have these two families, and one was going to be the Pikes, who we ended up seeing in the Solo a Star Wars story stuff and the Clone Wars, and another was going to be, I don't know. There was a rumor at one point it was actually Naberries, but I don't think that was true, personally.
No,
but
the concept for the Star Wars comic I've wanted to do, I called Lower Levels. It was set on 1313, and it was a Jedi that escaped Order 66, well, Padawan. It was basically Oliver Twist with a Jedi.
Yeah. Yeah. The actor who you were probably too close to the money, because the actor who they were going to use was the guy from Dinotopia. I did a video about Star Wars and Dinotopia, and the second part of that's the actor who they had planned, and another Dinotopia actor. And it would have probably have, looking at it now, like where we're at with technology and stuff like that, it's probably kind of good that we didn't get Underworld, because it probably would have felt very dated already, and like TV, you know what I mean? Like I love Battlestar Galactica, the recent one, but you watch it now, even now, it has kind of fallen a few.
It's like Babylon 5. I loved it when it came out, but it doesn't look that good anymore.
Yeah. You know what I actually strangely love is Farscape. And those
I love that show.
Puppets. They never age.
Actually,
that's what I was going to say, was that Rigel puppet still looks pretty fun.
Yeah, and then two of them ended up on Stargate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they put both of them on Stargate, and they used the guy who plays one of the main characters, and that became Tarkin in Episode 3, and they used them for a lot of the makeup in Episode 3 in the end too, because they were based in Australia. But yeah, I definitely think that where we're at, Rob, with the Star Wars shows, is going to be where we start to see like things spanning out in terms of like a connective story. And but I am also with you in that I would not mind things that are too crazy to be films if those were like I honestly think like WandaVision probably would have been a fine film, but it also is totally better as a series, and probably wouldn't have, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't have made as much money. I could be wrong.
Well, tonally, it's nothing like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and none of those are like Loki, and none of those are going to be like Hawkeye, and that's sort of what I'm saying. Like, they all feel MCU-ish. There's a way to make them all feel Star Wars-y without just member berries the tone, like every time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it because like they have Nick Fury kind of be like the glue that shows up in almost all the movies, so there's that consistency within their universe, whereas we haven't really seen a lot of characters.
Filoni, no, I'm in
Squid,
everything.
spread
I'm a
across.
pilot in the Mando. I'm gonna be a big Grogu in Ahsoka.
See,
I'm gonna
well,
walk
yeah,
around.
Sith Podcast asks, could that be the film? Could that be the Feige project? I am under the impression that the Feige project is something completely like new onto itself. It's like it's a standalone concept.
The only things I've heard about the Feige project is what if territory, and I was like, I'm not sure about this one.
Yeah. That could make sense. I mean, it might just be so out there that it's set like in a time in the future or in the past or something like that, where it does essentially become what if because it's irrelevant to everything else that's ever occurred. But that's not to say it's an irrelevant story. You know, it doesn't have to be. But
It's just very, very different.
Yeah.
Which could be cool.
Yeah, no, I mean that kind of stuff is where we end up with opportunities for things to branch out and for things to go in places that we didn't consider before. Also, you run into the risk of going down rabbit holes that nobody wants and that loses the audience, like the old novels oftentimes would do, or the comics would do at times. Hell, the new comics are doing that to me a lot now.
Rock opera, Jedi rocks, bro. Turn it into a film.
Be like a Turtles live show.
Fucking Feige. It's not what I want.
If they hire me to write it, I won't spoil it. That's a promise.
Well, I mean, there was that episode of Star Wars Visions that had the rock stuff in it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I wanted them to take that further than what they did. Like I thought there was going to be more like interlude moments, connecting the music, and it was going to play throughout. But it was a fun concept, and I still love that their ship is like a stage, so they just land like on the street, and they're like, "We're doing a show."
I heard it's Rey solving mysteries. It's going to be called Murder She Walk.
No, it's an Ewok. It's an Ewok.
Oh yeah, it's Wicket. Sorry, yeah, I forgot. Warwick's coming back.
In aged Nisa returns to Coruscant to solve crimes.
It's been a
Murder She Walk.
Oh, how many Warwick Davis jokes can we get in this episode?
Oh wait, are we making Warwick play Nisa? Was that Warwick and Ewok drag?
He plays them all. Yeah. It's the whole trick. What? Come on, man. You know, it's got range.
Bro.
It's the army of Warwick.
Yeah,
that's who you have to get on this show is Warwick Davis. Watch some of the previous ones. He's like, no, just no.
Nah, Warwick knows I love him. He knows it.
You're the only one covering Willow. You have to.
Because I love him. I do love him.
Nobody covers Willow. We stick with it even when we get negative views. You know, somehow the news, they go below zero on the views with Willow.
I'm not sure how that works, but hey, it's a thing.
If he's watching,
algorithms.
We're here for you, bro.
Nobody understands the algorithm.
Yeah, I think everyone will get on the Willow train when the trailer hits.
The Willow train. It's the Kenny Baker train that is played out. You know,
that's
illegitimate children.
Dude, that's called that's a Baker subway. This is a Willow train.
Yeah,
this is above ground, and it's a bullet.
See, the
train.
Baker's dozen references his illegitimate children that are scattered amongst the globe.
All 13 of them. All 13. And they use them all in the New Willow for the Nelwins.
Yeah.
You're terrible, Rob.
He's a bit of a coxman. I can't blame him. He's R2.
I also heard
Jesse's not helping.
R2E left, I'm not gonna make that. I gotta stop myself.
Let Baker give you some of his R2E. Huh?
R2E off 5e.
Yeah, if we weren't demonetized before,
really,
we are now.
You know why my last name is Baker? Because I put a bun in that oven. That's why.
I ain't the muffin man.
He talks like Penguin from the Batman trailer. Turns out,
that whole jovial British accent thing. That's why Anthony Daniels wants to kick his ass all the time. He knows what a fucking fake he was.
Sorry. We have someone we can ask if that's true.
Oh God, I hated that thing that he did with his Twitter like 2 years ago, where he was like promoting something, and it ended up being his book.
Oh, Anthony Daniels?
Yeah, he's doing some like countdown, and he was just like something big incoming, and like, it's just your book.
Yeah, no, everyone thought it was going to be like an episode 9 thing, but it's like, why? It's like that was, I feel like that was on us. That was on them, on the people who thought that. Why wouldn't Anthony Daniels promote himself on his Twitter? I mean, it's like the one place you're allowed, I think. Right?
I think so.
I mean, I've been told otherwise, but I think that's wrong.
You can promote yourself on your Twitter, and
I think
you can
so.
promote yourself on your own podcasts. I mean, that's fine.
That you're allowed. You're allowed.
Yeah, it's in the rules.
Fair enough.
No, those rules, they're in the rules.
Luke agrees that Farscape was rad.
Rad.
And
cool.
wait, was it Luke who was taking a bath earlier? I was about to share that comment and I lost it. But I thought it was funny because this is the only show you can wash your balls to. All right, there we go. Hey,
I'm gonna have to pass on that one again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can. You
don't
can
have the right anatomy for it, so sorry, guys.
Wash it if you got it. That's what I say. Whoa, it's a kitty.
Yep.
You don't have to these days, right? You can just say you identify as it.
I identify as a space kitty. I do. Rob's like, no, I'm not doing that. All right, everyone. I think by the time I start identifying as a space kitty is when the show is done.
It's probably true.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, wait. We have an update. Luke's balls. Oh yeah, I'm clean as a whistle and sharp as a thistle right now.
So shizzle my nizzle.
All right, we did it. I mean, come on, everybody. This every show has a complete story. When it started, Luke had dirty balls from playing soccer or football, whatever you call it, wherever you're at. And now by the end of it, he is clean as a whistle, sharp as a thistle. And
like Fast 9, man, we're going to space.
I mean, we're all caught up on all of the news. We are. I think we've done it all. I think we have done it all, and we will be back tomorrow. Anybody wants to come back tomorrow at 11 a.m. If you don't, I understand. But if you want to, I'll see you tomorrow, Allison.
I have nothing
Jesse,
better to do, so
you're not,
I'll be here.
All right, Rob is definitely not coming back, but don't worry, I have compromise.
Be too busy watching Dune. It's going to take 50 hours to get there.
I expect your essay.
I have compromise on you. And,
I expect to be back here living in one of these by the time I'm done with that fucking film. Like,
I filmed you through a mirror in a motel in Moscow, and I'll get you back. You'll be
Duncan
back.
Idaho peed on a bed.
You're like Rob.
I gotta download the Mega Show actually
Dune.
throw that into After Effects. No, not After Premiere. That's the word I'm looking
Premiere.
for.
Premiere. Yeah, I can never remember Logic Pro, even though I use it every day. I think it's the worst name ever for a piece of software. And I'm just like, Logic, Adobe Audition, no, Logic Pro. But all right, guys, we will be back tomorrow. I'll see everybody then. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today and listening to my drivel and talk about balls and stuff like that because we weren't raised right.
It's quite a lot of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we weren't raised right. And thank you for the super chat. And wait, before we go, Des says, hey guys, drop it in quick while you're still on to say Rob made his best point ever yesterday. Luke wasn't the greatest Jedi, but he had what no one else had, Vader's freaking heart. You fucking happy? You happy with yourself?
I stole that from Meg Zero, actually. So
are you happy?
It wasn't even my own idea. What?
You paid him to say that. I know. I saw you on your phone. I saw PayPal. I saw a little PayPal thing.
Look, if I don't use Venmo, they cancel it. So I got to do something with that fucking thing. I'm legally required to pay off some of these people, So
Was that thing that I saw a picture that somebody made from the Droids show, but it was titled the Revenge of Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren is a character in Droids. It was an episode, and we did not believe Kylo Ren was his name because we thought somebody just took Kylo Ren, and were trying to sell us a bill of goods.
It's animation, and Chris Felucci also had Snoke Stimpy in that cartoon that was cut. So we just figured those ideas got recycled.
Also remember in Caravan of Courage or the Ewok Adventure when I was growing up, the boy's name is Mace.
Mace. Yeah, the first character ever was Mace Windy. So Mace is just like John or something.
No, he's Mace Breeze.
All right, guys. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Here's some German music to say goodbye to.
It's not about spaceships.
Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show.
It's not about spaceships.
double mug.
Double fisting.
What?
When they're not,
this